Hello and welcome to another TFHB Predict. Now, a few weeks ago, we predicted the Premier League table for 24-25, which had a mixed reaction.
Yeah, we were mid-Euros, weren't we? So it was that sort of a very early first thoughts about the coming season.
But now we're only a few days away from the Premier League starting, so we're going to have a bit more of hopefully a more accurate prediction.
Yeah.
Who knows? We might change a few teams, might not, but let's see. So let's get started straight away with Arsenal. Second last season, second the year before, came so close last year.
Yeah.
And I think they have a real chance again this year of winning that league.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I think absolutely. They're the side that's going to push Man City the furthest. Whether they do it or not, it'll be interesting to see. I think a good sign with Calafiori. I like the look of that.
Well, yeah. Will he play though?
I think what it allows. I mean, Arsenal ran with 6 defenders last season, and that was obviously for a big side is incredibly risky. Champions League and everything as well. It's that extra bit of depth. It means that maybe actually he plays ahead of Gabriel at times. Maybe they're able to rotate a little bit through the Champions League and things like that. And you can. So I think Arteta said about wanting 8 defenders rather than 6.
He'll need a bit of time to adjust the Premier League, won't he, as well?
Yeah. But I just love
Bologna,
an Italian defender as well. It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he was good in the Euros. It wasn't
He's
just off the Euros. They were linked to him in January. So it's a decent signing. I think they are obviously another year into the Arteta project. I think there's every chance they do make it. What's your thoughts? Do they do it?
I think they do. And I don't think it's necessarily because Arsenal got better. I think City have reached their limit.
Okay.
I think they're going to go backwards.
Okay.
I don't think Arsenal are going to be anything more special. I think they're just going to... Like De Bruyne, I don't think he's the player he was. Yeah, he still had moments last season where he shows his class. But a lot of time he was taken off by Pep, benched. He wasn't great in the Euros.
He's picking up injuries as well, isn't he?
He is. I just think he might just have reached his peak now. I think Arsenal will win it because Man City don't.
Okay. It's hard to bet against Man City, isn't it? Because they've proven how good they are. They are so good. Pep is so good, as he would say. I think there's every chance they retain it again just because of the goals of Haaland. Yeah. But for now, definitely put Arsenal in.
And then we'll see when we get to Man City. Yeah. Maybe we'll change it after a bit of more of a discussion. Right, AFC Bournemouth. Last season had some fantastic results. Iraola, really good manager. Of course, famously smashed United at Old Trafford. Played good football. Got
a lovely kit for next season. You've seen it?
Yes.
Lovely kit.
Nice kit. Solanke, they managed to hold on to some of these players by the looks of it. Another year under that same manager, honing in on those tactics. I think they could be pushing for that higher mid, towards the bottom of the higher mid.
Yeah, I think put them 12th for now. Put them, 11th, 12th.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you said last time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Right.
I like Bournemouth a lot. I hope they do well. We'll see how we go.
Okay.
This was one that was controversial.
Aston Villa. Now, this had the most negative reaction from Aston Villa fans on here. Thanks for commenting, by the way. Send them in. Doesn't matter what the comments are. It's great to have them. Helps the algorithm. Yeah. But Aston Villa, we had them in 8th. I think we had them in 7th and we dropped them down. Reasonings were Champions League football. It's going to be a bit more of a struggle. We likened it to Newcastle last season. We said Newcastle, they struggled in Champions League. Villa might do the same, and for that reason, we think they're going to drop out and maybe finish 8th.
Yeah.
Read 4-2 recently with their famous season preview.
Big preview.
They also had Aston Villa in 8th for pretty much the same reasons. Now, I can understand a lot of the fans were saying we're not the same as Newcastle. We've got Unai Emery for a start, which is absolutely true. Fantastic manager. He's got an amazing European pedigree. Yeah. But I think that is the reason why they will drop out, because I don't think they're going to be like Newcastle and go out in the group stage. I think they will progress in the Champions League. I think they will go through to the knockouts. And you've got to remember the Champions League this season isn't just 6 games in a group, it's 8 games.
Yeah.
Minimum, with 2 probably then in the first knockout round. Get through that. It's more games.
It is.
And you can't rest players like they did last season in the Conference League. They will be playing their full team.
Yeah.
So any injuries will impact them so much more.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
A couple of decent signings as well. So I hear it. I absolutely hear it from Villa fans who said Emery's a great manager. He knows how to manage his players, like he's done with Sevilla and people like that.
Yeah.
However, I think some of those Sevilla sides, the focus was on Europa League, retaining Europa League position and winning it again. It's absolutely not a diss on them. Their football they play is lovely at times under Emery. Ollie Watkins is a great goal scorer.
Yeah.
And that is one of the key components to doing well in the Premier League, is having someone who can score goals for you. So I think there's every chance they do well. I'm happy. Let's go 7th for now. Possibly we bump them up again when we can think about it.
Yeah. I think Aston Villa fans surely would take 8th or 7th and quarterfinals of Champions League.
Yeah.
Imagine that, getting Champions League. They've got the kit there behind when they won the European Cup in 8-2. Then I'm sure a long run in that and a low Premier League finish would be great. Right, on to Brentford. We said they would struggle last time.
Yeah.
And I haven't changed my mind.
Yeah. Time of recording, Tony hasn't gone. By the time it's released, could have. Although it's pretty quiet actually on the Tony front.
It is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, I think, as I said last time, I think that Thomas Frank has had a really good run. He's been a brilliant manager. Brentford have been brilliant for one of London's smallest clubs, a really small stadium comparatively compared to other Premier League London teams. They're a great watch. They play good football at times, and they survived without Tony for 6 months.
That's a really good point actually that season. Yeah.
So they were a good side, but that middle, bottom, so higher middle and lower middle, it's all a bit of, there can be sort of a point in it, 2 points in it at times. It can be really tight on those places.
Yeah.
So us saying 15th. There could be 12th. Like you could be 12th. Does it matter?
Let's
put them lower middle for now. Yeah.
Brighton lost to Derby. Were falling off a little bit anyway towards last season. They weren't the same team as maybe the year before.
Yeah. So Hurtzler's in now.
Yeah, good manager.
31 years old.
Pascal Gross might be leaving. Dortmund.
Yeah.
They haven't got Europe this season. So Villa fans, I know it's not the same team.
Yeah.
But that ruined Brighton's season last year.
Yeah, it did.
The Europa League, they were playing pretty much their full team in that cup, and then they were really struggling on the Sunday football as well. So I think they might drop into maybe even to lower mid, into like 13th or something. I don't know what are you thinking.
Ooh. I really like the look of Hurtzler. It'll be interesting. I think people are going to want him to fail because he's 31. So there'll be people, pundits, media going,
don't like it. He's
don't like it. Yeah, he's our school year.
Big him up.
He's our school year, and I absolutely hope he does do well. And I like the look of him, what I've read about him so far, and how he's done at San Pauli and things like that. I think just for me, I would go slightly above Bournemouth, 11th as a debut season. But again, it's interchangeable.
I think that'd be a good year.
Yeah, and it would be.
Chelsea. Now we had some disagreement on this, and one of my reasons were I don't think Maresca's football, Chelsea will be able to get on board with it quick enough at the start of the season. I think they're going to be playing catch up all season because I think they'll struggle at the start. Pre-season friendlies, you scoffed at them last time, but that
I still am.
Yeah, Chelsea haven't looked good in those playing that football, and they have struggled.
They have, but then there's been a lot of funny
to poor teams, to Celtic.
But Celtic are further along in their preparation as well, aren't they? Because Celtic are getting ready for qualifiers and things like that. So Celtic are sort of 2 weeks further along in their pre-season. I still think Chelsea could get top 6.
I think top 6, yeah. I don't think
and fifth. People were saying definitely Champions League. I don't think it's definitely Champions League. Pochettino.
If they kept Pochettino, they would have.
They finished really strongly under Pochettino, and I think another season building into that. You're right. I think there'll be a Maresca adaptation, and I hope for Chelsea's sake, if Chelsea fans say you don't go and fire him by Christmas, and then you're back at the cycle again.
Very different to Poch. His football is quite distinctive. It's the 2 inverted fullbacks, isn't it? It's basically the 2 at the back, and I think they will struggle because Reece James will get injured after a few weeks.
Yeah. Oh, Kukurea had a brilliant Euros, looking revitalised.
Kukurea, yeah, sure, he could come really good. He was fantastic in the Euros. I don't think their team is that great.
It's a lot of people who need to pop this season. Like people like Mudryk, they spent an 8-year contract on him.
Madueke,
and there's every chance they will. This is the high risk strategy. Bowley's playing, isn't it? Was bringing these players who could be brilliant, and you amortise them over the 8 years when it wasn't limited, are brilliant, nice and cheap, and that's how they've been able to stay PSR friendly and everything like that. If it works. If it doesn't work, you're stuck with those players on 8-year contracts.
Yeah.
The Lukaku situation where they've been trying to desperately get rid of him, 4-year contract, and sort of for 3 of those 4 years they've been trying to get rid of him.
Trying to get rid of as well.
So and by the time he will have gone to Atletico Madrid, so I think 5th, 6th.
Yeah. Palace. Now I read about these in 442. They got a 9th place prediction. I think Glasner was excellent, wasn't he, when he came in?
He was.
Was it a honeymoon effect though? Was it just like new manager? They kicked on.
Yeah, new manager bounce.
They did have some fast players. They've lost though Elise, who was obviously their star man. Again, point of recording, Eze's still there. Mateta is obviously at the Olympics. Those two were fantastic last season.
Yeah.
And the Wharton in midfield as well, wasn't he outstanding in there? I think that higher mid-table, I would probably put them in there. Palace.
Are you putting Palace above Brighton?
I'm putting them
the rivals.
I'd put them above Brighton. Yeah.
Oh, that Brighton fans will be annoyed, but I don't know if we've got any Brighton fans, so stick them in there.
I just think that they got another. They're used to their new manager. I think adaptation again.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of new managers this season across the whole league.
Yeah, it's interesting. It makes for an interesting league.
Yeah, which maybe Villa pop up because of the other teams getting used to it, but we'll get onto that. Right, Everton, lower mid-table. I think they've just cemented their place around there now, haven't they?
Everton fans were kicking off on some of the comments, being like, "What are you talking about? We're going to struggle again."
Well, they said getting rid of Onana has sort of saved them from losing
the PSR
Branthwaite as well.
Yeah.
Is Jared Branthwaite enough to put it any higher though? Is it?
I think
defensively there wasn't a problem last season. They were pretty good defensively, weren't they?
Yeah.
They had most clean sheets, didn't they?
Yeah.
Their attack is really poor.
Yeah, you worry where goals are going to come from. You worry where goals are going to come from, and I think for me then they're just above Brentford.
I think they're above Brentford definitely.
And we'll see when other teams fill in and see where we end up.
Okay, Fulham.
Couple of good signings. So they're linked with Scott McTominay, time of recording. Again, I think that's a good signing for Fulham.
That is a good signing for Fulham.
Good sale for United as well.
That's a really good signing for them.
They've lost Halpolina, which is a shame.
They've signed someone else, haven't they?
But they've signed Emile Smith-Rowe. Again, yet to be confirmed, time of recording, but probably will go through.
Yeah.
Good signing that. Someone who, again, for Fulham.
Does he need them? Is he the kind of player they need? I don't know really Fulham. They've got similar players in that area, haven't they, already?
He's one who could be class for them.
He was really good at Arsenal.
A bit like Andreas Pereira, who's gone there and been brilliant for them.
Yeah,
did make it at United. Yeah, Harry Wilson. So I think there's every chance that they have a decent season. I think goals are still their biggest issue, and so for me, because of the goals,
losing Mitrovic,
I think they're still behind. They're behind Brighton and possibly Bournemouth. I think behind Bournemouth as well. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, Ipswich. Difficult one, I think. You know more than me because you're a more Championship expert.
They were brilliant in the Championship. Back-to-back approaches. People saying, again, comments, first one, fine. They think Ipswich will do a lot better, and we're quite sure.
4-4-2 captains got them saying that.
Yeah. Now, their football they played were brilliant.
McKenna, superb manager.
McKenna, they held on to him, really important.
That could be their saving grace.
Really important. It is very rare that you get the back-to-back promotion anyway, League One, Championship. And then to survive
and then to stay up would be
is huge.
Pretty amazing.
It's one of those things almost, it's not harmful to them if they go down because they've got a good squad and they won't lose, I don't think, a huge amount of those players.
Got a little Welsh connection as well with Burns and Broadhead as well.
And a big influx of money, obviously. If they get relegated, they still get that massive payment that they could build again and come back up again. If they to go down, they'd be very strong next season again. Championship.
Without McKenna, probably.
But I don't think they're going to fire him because I think he's brilliant and they signed a long contract. I think there's every chance they're going to stay up. Tell you what, put them surviving for now.
Go on then, let's
for now. Let's put them surviving.
I wonder if this is before you end up being exactly the same as this. Right, Leicester have lost their manager to Chelsea. They've got Steve Cooper in, haven't they?
Yeah,
good manager. He's survived with Forest before, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's done it, but he's new. What do you think?
I think it is a good, solid manager appointment. We wanted him for the Wales job, actually, if it wasn't Craig Bellamy. I wanted Steve Cooper.
Still a good idea.
I like him, even though he's the former Swansea manager, but he's a good Cardiff boy, good Cardiff lad. I think there's every chance he does pull off something, and it'll be between them and Ipswich, and Southampton as well when we come to them. But I still think they're going down. I do think they haven't got quite enough. Yeah, I think they will. Not saying they'll fall off the bottom of the table, but I don't think they've got enough.
Okay, Liverpool new manager as well, Arne Slot. Watched a little bit of their first game under him the other day.
Yeah.
Different. He's definitely different to Klopp.
Okay.
And the players been saying the same thing. It isn't the heavy metal football. Even though I don't think Klopp was really doing that much. Klopp in his first two seasons was maybe first 2.5 was heavy metal football. It was crazy. It was you score 3, we'll score 4. And then he did become more conservative. When they won the Champions League that year, when they won the league, they definitely weren't the gung ho crazy team they were.
They can't
first came in.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think maybe last season they did revert back to that again. Slot is a little more of a possession, more, as they say, an elegant Dutch kind of style. I don't know. I don't think they're going to challenge.
No.
I think they're still the best of the rest. I think they've got still very much the same team. They need to make signings though.
Yeah.
Point recording, they haven't made any.
No.
And I think that could be a problem.
Yeah.
They need a defensive midfielder.
And there's every chance people like Gakpo come through out on the back of the very good Euros and things like that.
Nunes, it could still come good.
Yeah. He may score another sort of 15 or 20 goals. He's not going to score 30, I don't think, with Haaland.
So you're paying a 44 as well. He played 44 the other day without a striker.
Oh, interesting.
It's reminded me of the old Hungarian,
Gustav Šebes.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, I think third. I'll give you third. I think there is a chance of fourth.
I think there's a chance that 3rd to 8th, I think,
really tight.
Is going to be close. And all I think it's going to be top 2 and then the rest.
It'd almost be, if Liverpool came third, they'd sort of win the mini league of the not Arsenal Man City.
So. Which used to be Liverpool Man City, didn't it? Right, Man City then. Interesting. We had champions the first time.
I see what you're saying. I see that there's a drop off. I just think with Haaland it is so just metronomic. And there were times he struggled last season, but he still scored. Yeah, he still scored about 28 goals in the Premier League.
But I don't. Yeah, but just because you're top scorer in the league doesn't mean your team wins. Kane's top scorer loads of times.
Yeah.
And Spurs never win anything.
But it's a lot of goals. Foden, Player of the Year last season, very good. I know he had a poor Euros, but that's because he's out of that.
Maybe
Pep
that's
system.
what I'm basing it on. Yeah,
it's Pep. Yeah, maybe we've had a rest from Pep.
They pretty much finished in the same point last season. They were so close. I think Arsenal could gain 5 points then this year.
Arteta said they need to win 114 points this year.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a really close call this year. What do you think, Man City don't do then? Yeah.
I think Man City because I think it's Pep's last year.
Well, I think the whole financial fair play thing is going to ruin the club. And this is the last season of Man City as a team we know, club we know.
Big.
And I think financial fair play comes out end of the season, they go down.
That could be a freezing cold take.
What's that?
Could be a freezing cold take in a year's time.
Could be.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will be.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll back you. Let's put Arsenal there. There was a title race. We had a title race right up until the last sort of 2-3 games of the season. Let's go. Well, we're still the last game of the season.
Let's do it there and we'll do rock, paper, scissors at the end. Right. Man United. Ten Hag stayed because he won the FA Cup.
I think that's a massive blow.
And because they couldn't get anyone better in.
Yeah. Yoro, the new signing, 52 million, hurt his leg. As in, I don't know what he's done yet. It's not been released, but by the time this comes out, he will. He's on crutches. He's got some sort of injury to his ankle.
Is Yoro the player that's going to push that team?
He had a very good season last year, but they've signed a new defender to come in and try and shore up that side, and he's got injured. That's not ideal. Obviously, Højlund, they need to start finding his form.
If he bangs
Haaland.
If he starts banging him in, there's every chance they climb up.
Rashford's looked okay in pre-season. So it's people like that who had terrible seasons, like Rashford, to come back into it.
He blows so hot and cold, doesn't he, Rashford?
He does. So I think, let's say, they're between... Villa fans will be crying, and Newcastle to come next will be saying they've got to fight.
I think United, Villa and Newcastle is quite a hard one to call.
It is. And someone's going to have to go 8th, and this is where we went. Villa last time, on those sides, someone's going to have to go 8th. And I'm happy to put United 7th and bump Villa up to 6th.
Ooh, I think this could change again. Right, okay.
Yeah.
I think we're just being nice to the Villa fans here. Right, Newcastle.
Now, there's rumours Anthony Gordon could be on his way to Liverpool.
Well, they offered him, didn't they, to Liverpool in exchange for who was it? Quanta, wasn't it?
Yeah, Quanta.
Liverpool said no, which is fair enough. And then they've offered him again for Gomez. I think Liverpool are more open to Gomez going. Yeah.
It will help Liverpool getting another winger, and he's a Liverpool fan, I think, isn't he? Even though he's Everton boy, I think he's a Liverpool fan. He obviously they could do the money. The Staveleys have gone, Amanda Stavely's gone, and the money seems to be a little bit possibly dried up a little bit. We talked about how Eddie Howe could be off to the England job. Maybe rumours swirling.
I think England will get an interim manager.
Yeah, Lee Carsley. Lee Carsley.
And then I think Howe will take over end of the season. I think that's the plan.
Yeah.
But I think Howe will be gone before that.
But there'll be rumours. I mean, rumours are circulating around him, and I think he may lose his job. I wonder whether England, by the way, will make a play for Pep if Pep leaves Man City. I wonder whether England will just chuck everything at Pep and go, here you go, have 2 years and try and win a World Cup with us.
Klopp.
Separately. Or Klopp. Yeah, although
the USA offered him a job, didn't they?
Yeah, would a German take over the... I think he would. I don't know if England fans would necessarily accept the German.
Stupid, yeah.
But I wonder whether they would.
Yeah, I don't think they would.
Yeah, I don't think they would. But I think they may make a play for Pep. But either way, anyway, Howe is linked. He's not turned it down. Why would he? It's the pinnacle, possibly. So, an English manager. Every chance Howe looks at that and goes, I could win a World Cup here. It's a good side. It's a good England side. So is his mind there. I think Isak's a very good player. Good goal scorer.
Outstanding.
I think Callum Wilson's injury prone, but a good goal scorer. So they've got goals in the side.
Barnes.
I think, Harvey Barnes, fine. He's all right. But they need to sign a couple more players. And maybe they do before the window's out. If they lose Gordon, that's a blow because he's a good footballer, good player for them. For me now, as it stands, point of recording, early August, I'm going to say Newcastle 8th.
Okay. Right, interesting. Nottingham Forest.
But that could be Villa 8th. It could be Man United 8th. It's really high. I think it's really tight to call. That's a battle.
I think if Villa finish 6th and progress in Champions League, then that is an outstanding season.
Yeah, we flipped on a bit.
But okay. I think that's a bit of a stretch. Right, Forest. I don't think it looks good for them. We predict them to go down the first time, and I still think they're going down. What do you think?
Yeah, and I'm not against it either.
Okay.
And it's nothing to diss against Forest necessarily, but it feels like there's cycles in it. How many times have we seen it where a side has been up for a couple of seasons, and they haven't only just survived. It's not like they've been dead, the final day of the season type thing. But whether there's a drop off and they just can't lift themselves out of it, they struggle. Finances are obviously, and I think they're trying to sort them, but finances are there. For me, I think it's between. If we talk about another one, so sort of previewing ahead a little bit, but say Southampton in that bottom three, I think it's then between Wolves and Forest for the other relegated side.
I agree.
Let's put Forest above.
Yeah.
Leicester.
Okay. Southampton.
I think they go down.
I think they go bottom of the league, 20th.
Yeah. And
Russell Martin, I know you don't like him.
I'm not a big fan.
Swansea,
he plays lots of lovely possession style football.
Similar to Marasco, isn't it?
One of the big criticisms has been for him, last season for Southampton and for Swansea was they have the ball for 70% of the game, but they don't always score.
Do anything with it?
Yeah. And they're lovely to watch. They tore Cardiff apart numerous times under Russell Martin, but that's a separate point. Will they be able to pass some of these teams apart? No. And so suddenly when you can't do that,
if they,
grittiness.
Going up against Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, playing that football, they can't do that football. No. They'll have to change, won't they? And if they don't, then they'll
it's what destroyed. Burnley didn't do. So I think they're a similar one. I don't think there's a whipping boy. Again, there wasn't really last season necessarily.
Sheffield United.
Oh yeah, Sheffield United. Yeah, of course they were. Yeah, Sheffield United were. I don't think there's a Sheffield United this season. Then
no, I think so.
I think it's closer. I think those three promoted teams will battle it out. I think people like Wolves and Forest will battle it out. I'm happy to go with that as bottom 3 now.
Okay, are we sticking with Spurs in 4th?
I don't know, but who's getting 4th?
We were saying Ange Postecoglou, a second season with him, where they can again refine the tactics, sort out what went wrong last season, could mean they do one better, and get 4th,
right? Which
I think is very possible.
And a couple of smart signings actually, if they can build upon what they've done so far with Ange, which was very good football at the start of the season. They're brilliant. If you flip their seasons around, I think you'd be a very happy Spurs fan. They had a terrible start. Well, actually, Ange probably would have lost his job, but with the end, because the end of the season was terrible for them. It really was terrible. Start of the season was where they picked up the majority of their points.
I think once they knew they weren't catching Villa up as well, they just switched off, and
if they can level that out across the season, I think there's a chance they get 4th. I think there's a gap between 3rd and 4th.
Yeah,
but who else? Well, who else makes it? I think it is probably Chelsea, but it's whether they do that with Maresca.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be if it clicks with Maresca and they look brilliant, and Nkunku's back, and I think
is it
he could be really
United because they've
important.
got the same manager and they just do one of those Man United seasons where they just don't play that well, but somehow stumble into the
like Jose did. They had a second place finish. There's Jose. It was ridiculous now when you look back on it. Or Solskjaer, who everyone agreed was a poor manager, finished 3rd a couple of times. Every chance.
Ten Hag got top 4, didn't he, his first season?
Yeah. Maybe we are right. Let's.
It's hard, isn't it?
Let's go Spurs 4th. Let's go United 6th. Villa 7th.
I still think Villa take that with a good European season.
Yeah, I would absolutely take that.
Right. West Ham. No Moyes. Moyes gone. I think for that reason... good manager though, but he is quite temperamental.
Yeah. Well, lost the Spain job, didn't he?
A few jobs he's done.
Walked out on it, and Wolves similarly fuming.
I think they just consolidate the place in the 12th around there again. What do you think?
Yeah. Put them below Bournemouth, and then the final one. I think Wolves for me go above. Yeah,
Ipswich.
Exactly that. That's right.
I think Gary O'Neill's a good manager, but he's doesn't really get the support that he probably needs from the club. But I think he's good at managing to keep him up. All right, we got to sort of champions now. Are we doing rock paper scissors? Because I do think Arsenal will win this. And you think
I'm prepared to back you. I'm happy to go. I'm happy to go rock paper scissors. I'd like to see Arsenal win it.
Let's do it, Con.
I'd like to see Arsenal win it, and let's mix it up.
There you go. Arsenal win the league. Right, there we go. Arsenal, the champions of our final Premier League predictions. Man City, Liverpool, and Spurs sneaking into 4th. But doing this now, I think Liverpool do get chopped 4th.
Yeah, I agree.
Chelsea and Man United just narrowly missing out in Europa League. Then Villa come in 7th, and then the rest. Right. Do you want to do the other predictions, or are we going to just keep them how they were before?
Any changes? So I still think Haaland top goal scorer.
I still think Haaland top goal scorer.
Player of the season now. You had a bit more time to think about it.
I agree now. Saliba still. Arsenal in the league.
Okay. I'll go Saka in a Arsenal win the league season. Or Declan Rice. Everyone loves Declan Rice. If they win the league and he does a couple of last minute goals. I go Saka.
Right, first sack-in of the season.
Okay, final one. First sack-in. I think Nuno.
I said Nuno last time, didn't I?
Nuno.
Judging by the table, who likes a good hire and fire? Quite like this team, to be fair. Let's go. Let's mix it up. Marco Silva, Fulham.
Oh wow. Okay.
They're going to start badly.
Get him out, and someone pulls them back up the table.
Maybe.
Fine. All right.
Or maybe I'll stick with Nuno.
It just feels like a Nuno thing, and obviously they've got Marinakis as well, who's pretty fiery as a CEO.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And that's about it. Is it?
Yeah, I think so. I think I feel a little bit more comfortable about this one. Champions is one of 2. Champions League, that is a real battle. Top 8. I love that. I love there's a battle for top 8. It's great, isn't it? It'll be really interesting to watch. And FPL's got very interesting this season as well. So do join. Check out our Twitter at TFHBS, and we'll be posting the code up on there for you to join.
Yes, absolutely. So, with that, anything else to add?
No, I'm looking forward to football being back.
Let's do it. Right, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time. Let us know in the comments your predictions for the season, and we'll see you again. Thanks so much for watching.